What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing home the bacon MLB DFS video. That is right. We have meaningful baseball, Japan, Tokyo series, Tuesday, Wednesday. So what we're going to do is, if you are new to the channel, we've already run 10,000 simulations. So we've run the simulations early. We're going to go through it. So normally we break down every single game, every pitcher, every batter. We only have this game that's meaningful. So we're going to do that. We're going to look at the batters. We're going to look at the pitchers. We are going to build a couple of lineups for DraftKings because you cannot play this on Fanduel. And then I'm going to give you one of my favorite bets of the one of my bets to start the season. Hopefully we started off with a dub as well. So if you've never been here before, hopefully you learned something. I will link the MLB video or the a video from last year, just kind of so you can see what we do here. Normally the videos are like 40-45 minutes long. We break down every single game. We give you as much as we can. So we're going to give you the top plays after 10,000 simulations. So that being said, on a normal day we do 20,000 simulations a day. It's the same thing we do with NBA. So if you've never been here before, we also try to have giveaways every single day. So in this video, if you like the video, you are a subscriber to the channel, and you leave a comment on the video, you will have a chance to win a free week of FTA Plus if this video gets at least 50 likes. Now, that is a week of all sports, so a week of NBA with MLB, which comes back next week as well. Foley comes back. NASCAR, MMA, PGA, we've got it all for you. If this video gets at least 100 likes, you'll have a chance at a free month, 150 likes, a free year, 200 or more likes on this video, a chance at a lifetime pass. Now, normal yearly pass for all sports, $199, but in preparation for the MLB season, if you email me, dfshelp1@gmail.com, that's dfshelp, the number 1@gmail.com. If you are interested, we will give the yearly pass for $75, so make sure you check that out. So, we're very excited. We've got the MLB back, at least in a little fashion today. So we're looking at different things. So ballpark factor, obviously, it's in a dome, or if you didn't know, it is in a dome. The venue is completely indoors with a field turf surface. The field is symmetrical with a fence that is slightly closer to MLB standard fences across the entire outfield. The small outfield is offset by a 13-foot tall wall, but that does not matter. It does promote doubles. It keeps a few extra long balls in the yard, but World Series champions, Cubs have some guys that can hit as well. I think there's going to be some bases to be had. So not only are we going to give you some DFS, I want to give you a sports bet as well. And we're going to give you some of the top bats after simulations. So that being said, you can kind of look at this game right here. It is 5:10 Eastern a.m. So if hopefully you're watching this on Monday night, but you've got Yamamoto versus Amanaga, both back in Japan. Love to see, Ohtani's probably the number one, but Yamamoto, he's only faced 26 plate appearances against the Cubs, 42.3 K percentage, .083 batting average against him, and only a 7.7% walk rate, which is a fantastic number there. On top of that, it's got a 135 WOBA, so I do like that. And then Amanaga, on the other hand, has faced slightly a little bit more of Dodgers bats, 39 plate appearances, 17.9 K percentage. His K percentage has been low. His walk percentage is 0. His batting average against him is 231. So a low batting average, but not the best or highest K percentage, which kind of stinks for what we need. Obviously, Ks equal money, equal fantasy points. That's how you win. But still breaking it down, still going to look at it. Let's look at the bats there. So obviously, Yamamoto makes the most amount of sense. This is the first start of the year that matters. So if you kind of look at like Yamamoto, I'm curious if they have anything. Yeah, so 5 innings is what he ended up doing his final start. Kind of could see that. And definitely 5 innings is probably what we're looking at. Oh, you would love to see more, but that's probably what we could expect. And then Amanaga there as well. But obviously, if we're looking at the bats, Ohtani back in Japan, just homered a couple of days ago here. Would not surprise me if he homers again. I love Ohtani for extra base hits as well, so he makes a ton of sense. Teoscar Hernandez, so how we read this if you are new to the channel, the darker the red, the better the chance you have like the better the batter is. So Teoscar Hernandez, we love to take Teoscar against lefties. Love to take him against Amanaga today. Mookie Betts is out. He has got an illness. Do not play him. Do not put him in your lineup. He will not play in this 2-game series. Will Smith generally hits lefties better. Freddie Freeman hits lefties as well, as you could see in the Game 1 of the World Series when he took Nestor Cortez deep on a walk-off grand slam. No big deal. Kind of sucks, but whatever. Tommy Edman makes some sense to me as well. So there are certain batters that I do like. Again, the Dodgers are a fantastic hitting team. It just depends on who is out there, who is going to start. But if you can fit Ohtani in there, if you can fit Teoscar Hernandez in there, I would look at Kike Hernandez would be a cheap option if he starts. Now, depending on when you watch this, lineups are going to come out in the middle of the night. So maybe set an alarm, or you could make your lineups and hope that the majority of them do start. Freddie Freeman's obviously going to start. Will Smith will start against a lefty. The only one that don't maybe know is Kike Hernandez, and then maybe like Chris Taylor or a James Outman or Andy Pages. It really just depends on who is in there for the Dodgers. Then the Cubs side, on the flip side, Seiya Suzuki, obviously really good. Going up against Yamamoto, you could look at that. The numbers are great. Against handed pitcherness, so we like that. Kyle Tucker, usually we like to take Kyle Tucker against a lefty. He is better, but he is a lefty on righty matchup here, so I will look at him. Ian Happ, lefty righty matchup there. Dansby Swanson, I will look at. Michael Busch, I would look at. Outside of that, I don't trust John Birdie. I don't even know. Nico Horner, I'm probably not playing. Justin Turner against his former team. If he starts, we could be looking at Justin Turner as a revenge game. It's probably not, but I mean, you've got those options there as well. So I obviously am leaning more towards the Dodgers bats, which makes sense. They're a way better team than what we're used to. But just kind of looking at some models and some simulations, 6% chance for homers, 6% chance for doubles and triples. Again, there's no weather going to be a concern. It's a completely closed dome. We do not have to worry about that. But after the models and after the simulations, the top bats to hit a home run, Ohtani obviously makes sense. Will Smith, Dansby Swanson, Ian Happ, Teoscar Hernandez, and Freddie Freeman are your top 5 there. Looking at this, so and it depends. So there's you can do all the simulations you want, all the models we can put out there. What are we going to see in this game? So to hit a home run, number 1 is Ohtani. We talked about that. But let's just do 2+ base hits or bases. So we love to do over 1.5 bases. Ohtani, Freeman, Teoscar Hernandez, Kyle Tucker, and Tommy Edman are your top 5 that have a chance at getting 2+ bases in this game here. To steal a base, not a ton. Honestly, not a ton. The best probability right now, Pete Crow Armstrong, Kyle Tucker, Tommy Edman, Shohei Ohtani, and Ian Happ are the top 5 that you can get there through early simulations. That being said, kind of looking to see who we want to look at, who we want to build around, see if there's any BVP. Not a ton of BVP here. But like history for the last year or last 3 years against these teams, no one's really had very many plate appearances. The top ones are Tommy Edman is 2 for 3 with 2 home runs. So Tommy Edman's hits Amanaga pretty well. Only 3 at bats, but 2 of those 3 at bats were home runs. Max Muncy has a home run against Amanaga. Teoscar Hernandez is 1 for 2 with a home run. You've got Ian Happ is 1 for 4 with 1 extra base hit, 1 walk and 2 strikeouts. So there's not a ton of history between these two teams. But, we look at that, and those are the kind of plays that you need to look at when you try to build some lineups. So that being said, just kind of when we have, obviously, depending on where you're at, we'll have different players, and we have a ton of things on the website. When it is a full slate of games, so we have simulation models, we have Vegas odds, batter splits, BVP matchups, stolen base targets, our cheat sheet, which has plays at each position for both cash and tournaments. We've got chalk, we've got ballpark ratings, we've got umpire factors, MLB team bullpen stats. Obviously, we're probably going to keep the bullpens for the first month the same. And then once we get some data in there, we'll update that to 2025. Optimal stacks just kind of shows you what kind of stacks it takes at each position, whether or not you're on Fanduel or DraftKings. Player projections and prop bets as well. We have a ton of MLB things every single day. We won't have anything here on the website for FTA Plus because it's just a showdown, but we're building those lineups for you here. So let's do that right now. Let's build a few lineups that we can actually feel pretty comfortable with. Now, when we have a full slate, we will break down like kind of what we do a little bit with NBA. We'll do like top fives at each position when you have more than one game and stuff like that. So be on the lookout for it. If you want to get in, if you want to check us out $10 for a week. If you like it from now till next week, and then you want to jump in that MLB $75 train, you can try that as well. So that being said, we are going to try to build. I think Yamamoto makes the most sense as your captain. You're going to get extra points there, and he's in a good spot. But if he gets rocked by Cubs, then maybe this stack is gone. But this is obviously going to be a Dodgers heavy stack for me in this one. So when I'm building it, I got to get Tommy Edman there. He's got great numbers there. He should play, should be pretty good. Will Smith is another one that I'm looking at. And then this is where you can get a little bit creative. So let's say you think that Yamamoto might go 4 or 5 innings. This is one that you might not, and again, this is where it gets a little creative. So on DraftKings at least, you come down here and remove non-probables. You can get Blake Trinan in there, which is a bullpen guy, 4,000. Maybe he comes in for one game. He's played against the Cubs twice this year, or twice last year. 2 innings pitched, 1 hit allowed, 1 strikeout. Obviously, it's the first game. You got to get a little creative. So let's say we throw him in there. Now we're at 7,500 to build a kind of a non-conventional lineup, but a lineup that might make some sense. So Ian Happ, Dansby Swanson, Michael Busch, Conforto, Justin Turner. It doesn't matter. You got to get a Cub in there, though. That's the problem. So you can't have all Dodgers. So if I'm probably looking at Ian Happ there. I'm going to add this one in there. This is just one lineup. So a weird one that you don't think about because showdowns are different. If you've never played MLB Showdown, make sure you remove the non-probable so you can get the bullpen guys in there. That's the kind of thing when you're trying to build and you know like it's a bullpen day or whatever and they're going to throw out an opener for an inning or two. That's where it gets a little creative. That's where it's a little bit different with the way the way these showdowns go and how MLB goes, especially the first part of the season when it's not going to be in there. It's not going to be in a dome. It's going to be in cold weather. Got to get a little creative. Now let's do a lineup where we do both of the pitchers. So I've got Amanaga. I've got Yamamoto. I'm thinking, can we get Freeman in there? Now we're at 13.9. Remaining salary, 4,600. Let's get Chris Taylor is 3,800. Is he gonna? That's what I don't know. With Betts being out, he might be pretty good there. So now you're at 5,000 apiece. Want to see if Matt Shaw's even. Let's see. Yeah, Shaw might not be starting. So that's one where he traveled. But again, with the lineups, the way they're doing it and the way how early this is getting, that's where you got to pay attention. So then now you're at 3,900. Amaya Rojas, who's probably not going to play. Brujan could. Yeah, so Nico Horner didn't make the trip. That's where... This is where it kind of stinks that the game is starting so early. So you could do Vidal Brujan there. You could put him in there, or maybe we go away. Let's say we don't put Freeman. We put 6,300 the rest of the way. You could go Ian Happ. Or let's go Teoscar. And we're at 47. So you go Kike Hernandez, which maybe he'll start. And that is a lineup there. Obviously, it is Dodgers heavy again. I think that's probably going to be the consensus around that's what's going to happen. So we'll definitely look at that. So that's another lineup there. But let's look at a lineup where we have Amanaga as your captain. or as your MVP. Or if you're playing on FanDuel, not FanDuel, Yahoo, you could look at it that way. So let's go with a weird one off the wall. Again, tournament, you got to get a little creative. You got to have your pitchers against, or batters against some of your pitchers. We know that. Let's go with Swanson here. Let's go with Yamamoto. We can get both pitchers in there. So now we're averaging 4,600. Let's get Shaw in there. Maybe he does get the start. They want to see what he's got against a good player. 6,200, Tommy Edman, Michael Busch. There'd be a 3-on-3. I'm going with Tommy Edman there. So you got 3 Dodgers, 3 Cubs, and I do not mind that whatsoever. So that being said, just kind of a small breakdown of this first game. If you guys do like it, definitely let me know. But looking at my favorite bets, let me pause the video and bring up the sports book, and I will be right back. All right, so it's built. So depending on if you're on FanDuel, I had a 25% profit boost. I think you probably do too. Maybe it's a little bit higher, depends on how much you bet, I guess. At least on FanDuel anyway. And you probably could do the majority of these on DraftKings, but we're using this on FanDuel because we got a plus 44.05 on this. So Ohtani, 3+ total bases. Wouldn't be surprised if he hits a home run and gets that right off the bat there. You've got Teoscar Hernandez, 2+ total bases. Got Suzuki to record a hit. Got Yamamoto, 5+ strikeouts, so we all struck out that one. Max Muncy just to record a hit, and Tommy Edman to record 2+ bases. You've got 44.05 plus odds after the 25% boost. Normally 35.23. I'm going to put $5 on it to win $220, and that is my favorite bet of this game for the start of the MLB season. If you have not checked us out, go check out FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. Go check out our absolutely free Discord, which you can find in the description of this video down below. Let's have a great start to the season. Hopefully it is a great MLB season for you guys. The majority of you watching this video came from last year's videos. You saw us, whatever. You joined before 10,000 subscribers. Now we're at over 11,000. So I'm very excited for the MLB season. We're going to hopefully make this season better than the season last year. Let's have a great Tuesday. We've got NBA content as well. We've got other content, so make sure you check it out. Good luck with the start of the MLB season. Let's hopefully wake up to some